There's a news article that you guys sent me this morning, and I didn't even plan on having this conversation, but it was a news article that came out this morning. And the news article specifically talked about, here, let me read the headline. It says white student sues. Y'all had to know this was coming. White student sues historically black college for $2 million over racial discrimination. Black people, I warned you. You wasn't going to keep getting away with saying whatever it is that you wanted to say about everybody else. And they wasn't, at some point, one of the 350 million people in the United States of America wasn't going to come back and be able to say something back to you. Let me read it again for you. Matter of fact, let me hold off on this. Let me share my screen. White student sues historically black college for $2 million over racial discrimination. Oh, I'm for it. A white student that what you don't say. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to my dog Aaron. A white student at Howard University's law school is suing the institution for racial discrimination, alleging the school created a hostile education environment. Y'all thought that y'all was going to run in the Victim Olympics and keep on getting all of these handouts and all of this money without the white people coming back and saying, I want mine too? You thought that it only went one way. You thought that these people, listen, white people have been incredibly successful throughout their history here in the United States of America. They beat the Indians. They colonized the United States of America. They fought and divided this country up for theirs, and then they got you to build it by doing business with you in order to make sure that you got more of you over here once you captured enough of you and sent them over here in order to make sure that they got these crops, these plantations. You thought that they was just going to go away? Oh, you thought it was over. You thought it was over. You thought that this was going to be the end of the conversation. You thought that they wasn't going to learn, adapt, and be able to make the transition. Okay. Michael Newman, can't get any more white than that name right there. Michael Newman, a plaintiff, attended Howard University Law School starting in the fall semester of 2020. Listen, if y'all telling me that all of these phenomenal law students and stuff like that is coming out of these black universities, they said, I want him too. I want Ian too. Attended Howard University Law School starting in the fall semester of 2020 and remained there for just 2 years until he was expelled in September of 2020. Now, why y'all want to get rid of these good old white people? Why y'all getting rid of the good white people that's in there studying hard? He is seeking 2 M's. If it was me, I would be seeking 20 million. $2 million in monetary damages for pain and suffering, emotional anguish, and damage to his reputation. Frank Tramble, Vice President and Chief Communications Officer for Howard University. Hey, Aaron, you know him, Mike Tramble? Said that while he could not comment substantively due to pending litigation, the university is prepared to vigorously defend itself in his lawsuit as the claims provide a one-sided and self-serving narrative of events leading to the end of the students' enrollment at the university. Newman suffered depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Shout out to Michael Newman for going out there and getting your bag. Listen, I'm all for it. I know a lot of y'all expecting me to be like, you know what? No reason in the world why this white man named Michael Newman should be over here suing Howard. But if Howard is over here participating in racial discrimination and discriminating against this good white man in order to be able to say Black Lives Matters, then that's a problem. Shout out to Umar Johnson. At one point, global head of diversity recruiting, I didn't even know Howard had diversity recruiting. So if you're the global head of diversity recruiting, then that means that you're a person that recruits people that's not black, right? That's right. Reggie, shout out to Reggie. I hollered at my dog Reggie at Jay Alexander's last night. Allegedly told Newman that he had become the most hated student McGee had seen during his tenure at the university, according to the suit. Now, if he was a good white man, If he was a smart white man, I would have got that on tape. I would, white people, they good for getting it on tape. I'm recording you. Now listen, if that was a black person, let's remove our emotions. Let's have a conversation. If that was a black person at a PWI and they said to you that you are the most hated student that I've ever seen during my tenure at this university, oh, y'all would have been on social media. Y'all would have been on Instagram. Y'all would have been on YouTube Live. Y'all would have been doing y'all would have contacted Boyce Watkins, Jesse Jackson, Umar Johnson. Every last one of y'all would have been out here running in the Victim Olympics like Sha'Carri Richardson. But because it's a white man, y'all are appalled. Is it discrimination, even though it's your favorite university, Howard? When Newman raised concerns, and he did it the right way, he went to the school administrators. See, white people do things in order. They do things orderly and just. The law school's dean allegedly denied that Caucasian students at Howard Law and Newman in particular face racial discrimination to any degree. Following discussions of Newman's purported racial insensitivity, students learned of a tweet from Newman's private Twitter account that included a picture of a slave bearing a badly scarred back of a caption, "But we don't know what he did before the picture was taken." Sounds like he was a troublemaker. It doesn't mean that we don't have freedom of speech. And just because you don't like this good white man that's paying his good earned money in order to go to this law school, don't mean that you got the right in order to be able to take it out and racially discriminate against them. Because when I see black people, they turning the tables on y'all. See, the minute that you started advocating for special treatment is the minute that you then put yourself at a disposition or a disadvantage to be able to continue to say what you want to say. Now, if you sitting at a PWI or you sitting in a classroom and it's all white people, then you say black power. Or I should be able to wear my hair wherever I want to wear. And I should be able to wear black soap and I want to wear all my chakras. And white people, and they continue to put their knee on George Floyd's neck. Are you looking for them to acknowledge your pain? Or are you looking for them to hold you accountable for your actions? Because that's what's happening right here. It's just in reverse. Newman claimed the tweets was mocking commentators who attempted to explain away videos of police brutality by claiming the victim must have committed wrongdoing before the video started. Fair argument. He alleged that students responded with references to his race, gender, sexual preference, age, and personal appearance. The university should have taken more steps in order to protect his freedom, his ability to be able to communicate effectively, even if he's on an all-black campus. The same way that we should be able to be protected right in an all-white neighborhood. No? I don't know. I'm just having a conversation. The trouble started when the university shifted to remote learning at the start of the pandemic, meaning students communicated through purely online forums and through GroupMe chats, Newman claimed in court papers. After a symposium featuring an African-American speaker in the run-up to the 2020 election, Newman said he posted on a professor's forum page asking if further dialogue could be had on A, whether black voters didn't question turning to government for solutions, and then number two, reliably voting for the same party every election, disincentivize both parties from responding to the needs of the black community. I think that those are fair. Listen to what he's saying. This is a smart white man. He said, listen, after we had this whole thing, I posed the question in the forum of whether or not black people are really disincentivizing themselves from actually getting the benefits by voting one way and not requiring. That's what we want, right? We want candidates to come to the table on both sides of the aisle with things that are more beneficial for the community at whole. That's what other communities do. And he's saying, listen, you can't turn to the government for solutions and beg them. And then more importantly, why should they do anything for you when they already know that you're going to vote one way? That's what he's saying. Why should the government do anything for you when they already know that they got your vote sold up? This is a good man to have on your team. I think that he's a good lawyer. I think that he's making the right decision. Some students responded negatively. You know how black people get. They all in their emotions to Newman's posts and reached out to the school administrators, prompting Newman's removal from one of his group chats for the class. That is discrimination. That is discrimination. You can't remove me from a group chat because you don't like what it is that I said. Newman also described feeling utterly disenfranchised at the school and compared himself to a black student at a primarily white university. The student response was again largely negative, with some calling his comment offensive. Newman repeatedly apologized for offending anyone, stressing he was seeking to learn not just law, but to learn the thoughts and experiences of people of color. But Newman allegedly faced more overt, direct in your face hostility, with many students starting to refer to him as Mayo King. Oh, you're not going to call him the Mayo King. A perceived reference to his race and White Panther. And students claimed that controversies that they blamed on Newman had caused severe stress and distracted them from their studies. He tried to remedy this situation by sending out a four-part letter to explain his views, but the effort was labeled as a manifesto, with one student accusing him of manipulating classmates' emotions as a social experiment, the lawsuit said. The letters allegedly resulted in Newman's removal from a second class-wide group chat. School of Law Dean Danielle Holly later secretly recorded a Zoom meeting she called with Newman and McGee, during which she suggested Newman transfer to another school. Ooh, you know, if that was black, that would be egregious. Accusing him of racially harassing classmates. During a digital town hall meeting attended by 300 participants to discuss controversies surrounding Newman. Wow, they held a whole town hall to discuss him? Oh my God, this is grounds for a lawsuit. Grounds for lawsuit. She allegedly characterized Newman's letters as disturbing in every sense of the word. She allegedly blocked him from using several functions and trying to speak up in his defense, even disabling the chat function and turning off his camera. He filed simultaneous complaints. Man, this guy is too smart for them. He's too smart. He's too smart. We don't need to see no more. Well, shout out to this monster that y'all created. Y'all wanted the monster. You got the monster. Now he's out here running the asylum. The inmates is running the asylum. And now you're facing a $2 million lawsuit. And if I was on a jury, guilty, Howard University, HBCU, ask Biden for more money so that you can pay this good white man, Michael Newsom, or whatever his name was, because you cannot racially discriminate. You can't call the kettle black. The pot can't call the kettle black.